Hey y'all, Southern Sleuth here, back with the third video in the series. We are now in the experimental era, and by gosh, it seems like every game in this era is so different. So these games give some of the most unique aesthetics, which made them really fun to find images for. If your aesthetic is danger by design, boy do I have some bedrooms for you. Do you remember in 2006, which is consequently the year the game came out, the big thing was to have a red, black, and white Paris-themed room? It seems pretty perfect for this one. I know a lot of the games seem to focus on the color red as far as their decorations go, but this one truly fits the aesthetic. These bedrooms were characterized by red accent colors with black and white pictures of the Eiffel Tower and other scenery around Paris, which included different fashion models or just fashionistas in a black and white dramatic photo. I don't really think that I can pick a better 2006 aesthetic than this one. So here's an aesthetical throwback to bring back a lost memory of 2006. If your Nancy Drew game aesthetic is Creature of Kapu Cave, then you either really love Hawaii or you really just love experimental labs? I don't think I can make a very good aesthetic bedroom just by making it look like a lab, even though I'm going to have to do that later. However, I really can hit hard on the Hawaii side of things. So if you think about it, we've already had some really big coastal type vibes, so for this one, I leaned more into the greens of the jungle. These bedrooms are characterized by either palm leaves or even monstera leaves if that's your thing. Lots of greens, whites, and wicker furniture. Very beach house. But it also makes it feel like you might turn the corner and see some native bug the size of your hand buzzing at you. This aesthetic is of you sitting outside on your porch in your rocking chair, sipping your morning coffee while the sunrise comes over the water. Just vibes. Outside of Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake, I would probably have to say that White Wolf of Icicle Creek is one of my favorite aesthetics. So if your favorite game is White Wolf of Icicle Creek, and it's not just because of how much you absolutely love fox and geese, then you must love it for the aesthetic. You love it for the Adirondack ski lodge vibes. You love it because you can either picture sitting at a warm fire in a big cozy chair with your fluffy blanket, or in a sauna or hot tub with your favorite book, just getting away from the cold after a day of having fun in the snow. It's characterized by cozy vibes, wood tones, and lots of faux fur. Let me specify, it's faux. Isis is fine. But I would be wrong if I didn't say that I don't love a good wolf-looking blanket. There's just something about it that feels very warm and homey. So picture heavy wooden beds, lots of warm blankets, and making your bedroom the coziest place to be. Total opposite vibes, but still somehow very earthy. Your aesthetic might be Legend of the Crystal Skull. If it is, I don't blame you. It's got nice vibes there. It's very Southern Gothic, but with lots of candles, obviously crystals, herbs, and purples. I went and looked up several different bedrooms for this one, and then I found ones that looked like they could possibly overlook a crypt. You know, walk out your window, look down, tombstones. You know, very pleasing. I didn't want to go cheesy Gothic with this one, so I went very, very romantic Gothic, I guess. I don't know if that's an actual characterization, but that's how I feel that you would enjoy your bedroom. You might even have your own cabinet of curiosities. If your aesthetic is Phantom of Venice, you may just really love Scopa. But if you do like the scenery, I picture these bedrooms as being surrounded by obvious signs of Italy, which could include anything from looking like a villa in Tuscany to the clay walls that you would find in the Roman Colosseum. I see a lot of exposed grounds and a lot of texture and things like these clay walls that have the imperfect bubble looks, maybe some exposed brick or stone, and you would walk around and see a lot of the carnival faces and probably a lot of plants. And either you would go to the market and get yourself pops of color to honor the carnival, or you would stick with your browns and stones and clays. And whether or not you've been to Italy, it is definitely on your bucket list, and your bedroom would reflect that. Earlier, we went through the games that seem to focus on red over and over and over, but now we seem to definitely be focusing more on green. So if your aesthetic is The Haunting of Castle Malloy, you definitely need some green in your bedroom. Hints of Ireland with sheep, stone, flowers, and probably a wool blanket. It's a must. If you don't want sheep, I also included this little green rabbit tapestry that fit the aesthetic in my head. I even picked a few images that look like they could be in a bedroom of a beautiful lush bog. While the game does take place in a castle, it has less princess vibes and more hidden entrances and family secrets, which are exactly what you want someone to say about your room when you visit. Who doesn't want a hidden entrance? The next game is Ransom of the Seven Ships. There's no denying the beauty of the tropics, and that can translate into a gorgeous bedroom aesthetic. If Ransom of the Seven Ships is yours, you love the colors, the plants, and you have a very, very busy bedroom. Inspiration is taken from the tropical birds and the fruit the monkeys might throw at you. Throw in a couple of coconuts with some straws in there, and you have yourself a paradise at home. I had to sneak in this nursery because it's a nod to Cuckoo. Justice for Cuckoo. Even if most of us agree this game is missing that urgency element you would expect, there is no denying it inspires some beautiful and fun bedrooms. Lots of rainbows, lots of tropics. If that isn't your style, your aesthetic might be Warnings at Waverly Academy, which is the exact opposite of bright and colorful. Though I did throw in one bedroom inspired by Mel Corbus, which could be your speed. If this is your game, you love dark academia. Think maroons, blacks, golds, academic plaids, moody books, dark woods, exposed brick. You like displaying your intellectual pursuits in your decor, whether that be your books, your paintings, or even botanical pursuits. If this is the case, and your vibe is this, but you don't love it being so dark, I did add a pink light academia to the mix too. So perhaps you prefer your light academia with a side of pastels. Pink can be smart too. Maybe Trail of the Twister is your aesthetic. You love the character in the old farmhouse. Personally, I think this aesthetic is very sweet and inviting and reminds us of the good old days. Maybe you just want some acreage or a garden, or you just love spending every weekend at the farmer's market. Your walls definitely have shiplap, and you might even have a live, laugh, love sign over your bed. Zero judgment. Whites, beige, and lace, complete with floral and denim, is always in your room. I also love this aesthetic because of its pure, almost romantic look. I tried to stay away from anything too modern farmhouse, as the game does not give off shiny and new vibes. It's all about some rustic vintage here. Last one for this video is Shadow at the Water's Edge. If this is your aesthetic, you probably love the Japanese culture, and honestly, I don't blame you. There are, as we all know, two competing vibes of this game. You have the modern era with Yumi and the classic era back at the Ryokan. If you are more on the Yumi side of things, you've got vibes known as kawaii, I think that's how you say it, and pink is definitely your main color, even if you don't go quite as overboard as she does. I love the one room pictured here with the cherry blossoms, as I want to go to Japan when they're in bloom. If you're more of a Ryokan fan, your room is more muted and very classy, and maybe a paper lantern or two. Maybe your bed is even on the floor. If you don't have a sliding door, you want one. Your bedroom is way more minimalist compared to Yumi's apartment, and you find that the neutrals give you peace. You appreciate the simpler things in life, and your bedroom perfectly reflects that. Also, please don't miss that I snuck in some Pokemon into one of the pictures. That's another fandom I'm a part of. And that's it for the experimental era. I love how all of these have such different aesthetics and make for some very specific bedroom vibes that show off different personalities and interests. It's as if there's something here for everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider giving me a follow. I can also be found on Instagram under the same name. Thanks for sleuthin', y'all!